Welcome everyone to another episode of Natural as F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Frazier, and I got our beautiful minister on the line with us, Michaela Thomas. Woo-hoo. How you doing today, man?
Excellent, Dr. Frazier. How you doing?
Excellent. Hey, man, you sound so clear. I usually do the show on another device, but today I'm using my daughter's device, and this thing is beautiful. It's almost like I can hear myself really good. I
Yeah.
can hear everything good. I told her she needed to let me have this. She's not gonna let me have it.
Yeah, you gotta get you one of them, Doc.
For real. Well, we got a
Yeah.
great show today. All month long we were talking about addictions and how to overcome those addictions. Burning out, life stress. Events that been happening. Because you remember we did that test together, right? And you were like,
Right.
"Oh,
According to your test, I'm gonna get a stress related disease.
80% chance, ma'am." However, you first failed that by living a hygienic lifestyle. Remember we talked about that. So
Yeah,
even
that's right.
though the test gives us an ideal that events that happen in our life gives us a tendency to suffer stress related illness, unless you know what the great minister Thomas knows.
Exactly.
And what are those things?
The 10 ways of health.
Oh, yes, ma'am. The 10 ways of health.
Oh, the 10,
You stay on the 10 Commandments. That's why I tell you I call you the minister. You stay on the Ten
that's
Commandments.
right. That's right. We stand 10 toes down on the 10.
On the 10.
On the
Give
10.
give a
That's
couple
right.
on for them.
Um, adequate sunlight, pure water, clean air,
Mm-hmm.
and the ideal diet for the human body,
Mm-hmm.
cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Uh, oh, emotional poise and nurturing relationships. Those two go together for me.
Right. And those two
Ideal.
different ones though. Those two different ones, but
Yeah,
they do
they're
run
two.
next. And since you
Yeah, they're
there,
two.
I want to stop you because you hit on what we're talking about today. And that's
Okay.
emotional balance. Not the nurturing relationships unless you're relating with yourself here in a good positive way by not having these addictive or compulsive habits that's, stressing you, worrying you, causing you sickness and stuff like that. So since you hit on emotional balance is when you have freedom from addictions
Mm,
and freedom from compulsivities. You
amen.
have you make worthy goals in your life and stuff like that. So that is what emotional balance or emotional poise. You poise in mind and body when you are healthy or strong, and you're not going to suffer disease. But if you remember, I don't know if you got off last show just before we did the burnout. Before we talk about that, though, I want to let everybody know that we're not holistic doctors. We got to give them that little clause there. Because if you suffering with some type of medical issue and you want a medical doctor to treat you with medicine, this is the wrong show. You need to go to one of these big hospitals. They can show you all the medicine and drugs they got in their arsenal to help you fight your medical disease. But if you want to change your lifestyle and your habits to promote a healthier lifestyle where you don't need the medicine or the herbs or remedies, well, this is the show. It's called Natural as F, and this is the most naturalist way to repair your body and restore your body back to health without the use of medicine and herb. We're here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. The topic this month was dealing with emotional poise and balance, helping you with procrastination. We're going to get that at in just a minute. Matter of fact, we're going to give you some antidotes. Are we giving them antidotes? You want the antidote for emotional imbalance or emotional distress and all type of stuff? We're giving out the antidote today. And we're not charging you anything but a little bit of your time to sit here and listen. We could get them to go ahead and send a donation in, though, can't we? If y'all want to
Amen.
send,
We can always pass the plate.
right, you can send a donation into Our Black Media Network. I'm pretty sure it's on the bottom, might come up where you can donate to this platform. This is a great platform bringing all awareness and all good things to our community. And they allow us to come up here and talk about holistic health and healing to help our community stop suffering from sickness. Man, we watch all our family members, friends suffering and even dying, because they are just unaware of what health is. They think health is at the bottom of a pill bottle or at the end of a knife, or they think it's in a needle bottle. They like to get the jabs and all type of stuff. So we want to give them correct information of what health is and how to attain it and how to keep it once you got it. And that comes in teachings of natural hygiene. But you missed the job burnout and how you're burning out with the job. And I told them how we burn out on relationship. And we use that whole technique to show how we're burning ourselves out. Once we reach burnout, you know what that is. When we burn out, we've lost all our energy. You know what happens then?
We get irritated.
Well, what caused the irritation?
What causes irritated? What causes irritation? Come on, Dr. Frazier.
Toxemia.
Innovation.
Innovation brings on toxemia.
Okay. And then toxemia
brings on irritation.
And irritation brings on inflammation.
Inflammation. And inflammation brings on ulceration. And ulceration brings on induration. And induration leads to degeneration or mutation, which is cancer. And now this can be pointed out in any cell of the body. Any cell goes through those 7 stages: innervation, toxemia, irritation, inflame, it ulcerates, it hardens, and it degenerates. Every cell goes through that 7-stage process. And when in every stage of that process, we start feeling symptoms of that stage. And that's when we go to the doctor claiming, hey, this is wrong with me. Hey, this is wrong with me, doc. I'm inflamed. I'm irritated. The doctor say, well, you got, ulceration going on, with your cells and tissue. Or he say your cells have hardened. That's when they tell you you're cancer.
Yeah.
Or you start suffering degeneration. But that's not what the show about today. We'll get off. And see, you always bring me back the teaching.
Then don't ask me, doc. Don't ask me.
This is emotional poison balance.
Yeah. Okay, let's emotionally poised and emotionally balanced, and let's set ourselves some healthy goals, and you're gonna give out the antidote.
The antidote. We're giving out the antidote today. So make sure you have a paper and pen with you. We're giving out the antidote today. If you are suffering from compulsivities or there are addictions, even if you're not aware of the addictions in your life. I was just talking with the producer at the beginning of the show. Well, before the show started, me and him was backstage and we were talking. And I was telling him that, most people, if they're addicted to alcohol, they are aware of that addiction. They know they're doing something wrong, or if they're addicted to some heroin or some cocaine or something like that, they're aware of it. They know that's not healthy for them or anything like that. But the average person who's going to the doctor in the case of high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high sugar levels and stuff like that, they're not aware that they're eating that chicken leg that they put to their mouth every day, or them ham hocks and them Joe Louis strips, and the conglomerate of food that they just cram down their throats every hour on the hour. All the different types of drinks that they're spilling down their throats. And they don't realize that those are the things that are creating their suffering and their diseases and their symptoms and reactions that the body is going through to neutralize and expel these poisons in the form of a disease. And so while they're not being aware of this stuff, Michaela, you know, they can't do nothing about it because they thinking, you know, it's some germ causing them to get sick, some parasite, some bacteria or something. Yes, ma'am.
You're not gonna get me to agree with that, Dr. Frazier, because you say that people don't know, and you know I foundationally and fundamentally disagree with that. I believe that they absolutely know. I believe that they just will not be honest with themselves. They would rather eat a whole plate of, you know, Joe Louis strip and beans and peas and rice and chicken and cornbread, macaroni and cheese and all of that stuff, and then eat a piece of fruit and say, "Oh, that fruit made me sick." They want to do that. That's intentional. You know that the fruit didn't make you sick. But that's not what this show is about, Dr. Frazier. This show is about emotional poise.
So yeah, I'm glad you're bringing me back now because I went to the other way then. Yeah, I went down the street and ran around the block just then. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick quiz. All right. We're gonna do another little quick quiz. I need your help. All right. And for y'all who are out there, we need to do this quiz within about 7 minutes because we're going to take a break in 7 minutes. So we got to get this quiz done. All right.
All right. Go.
Now, if you got a paper and pen, make sure you have a paper and pen. We're going to give them about a couple of minutes to get, well, a couple of seconds, not a couple of minutes. We ain't got a couple of minutes, but a couple of seconds to get them a paper and pen and take this quick little quiz. Ain't nothing but 15 statements that we're going to ask you. Our questions we're going to ask. All right. So, you know, as always, I'm going to keep yours. All right. You don't have to worry about getting your paper and pen. Okay. So what's the quiz about? Well, the quiz is to find out, are you burning out? Oh, okay. I'm ready for this one. I'm excited about this one. I don't know. I was excited about the last one, and then I found out what what the people say. I know that's right, ain't it? All right, so yeah. I'm going to write on this piece of paper, and I'm going to take yours down, all right? So the thing is, I want you to rate yourself on a following scale. Allow about, a couple of seconds for each answer. Then I want you to assign a number from 1 to 5, 1 being no or little change, little to no change. 5 being for a great deal of change. And what you're rating is the changes in your life during the past few months. All right, so things that happened in your life, did it change a little bit or no change? Or there have been a huge, great amount of change? So you can say 1, no change. 5, oh man, that thing changed drastically. You catch me so far? Or if I'm with you. A little bit in there, you might say 2 or 3. You know, it depends on you to rate it. All right, and you that's in the audience, you rate it just as well too. If there hasn't been no change in the last few months in your life, according to the question that I asked you, I want you to put a 1 or 2 there. If there have been a great deal of change, I want you to put a 4 or a 5 there, according to how much you think the thing has changed in your life. If it's like more neutral, yeah, somewhat, but not that bad, then just write a 3 there. And we're going to tally up the score in the end. Okay? Sound fair? That's fair. I told you I got you, Michaela, so don't worry about it. All right. All right. All right. Do you tire more easily? Feel fatigue rather than energetic? 1. All right. So you haven't seen much change in the way that your energy level is in the last couple of months. All right. Excellent. Yeah. If you watching the show and you notice that your energy levels have changed and you've become a little more, sluggish and fatigued and tired, you might want to rate it anywhere from a 3 to the 4 to a 5. If it's a big thing, you're going to put a 5 there. All right. And just keep score with me. All right. Number 2, are people annoying you by telling you, Michaela, you don't look so good lately? No, not 1. Okay. So if you're having people tell you that you're not looking too good lately, I want you to write down, if you're hearing that a lot and this has been a big change, a drastic change, I want you to write down a 5. If it's not so much of a change, 3. If it's not hardly no change at all, a little no change, you write down a 1. All right, so far we had a 2, Michaela. All right, so number 3, are you working harder and harder and accomplishing less and less?
2.
2. All right. Getting on up there now. I'm just messing with you with this message. All right, so make sure that y'all rate yourself from 1 to 5. 5 being the biggest change, 1 not being that much change at all. And, you know, are you working harder and harder and accomplishing less and less? And hello to everyone who's commenting on the show. We're glad that you're here, and tell other people about coming to the show to learn more. Are you increasingly cynical or disenchanted?
1.
1.
Doc, you about to lose me. Go fast.
All right, let's go fast. Are you also created by a sadness you can't explain?
1. We can't put 0 on here.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Are you forgetting appointments, deadlines, and personal possessions?
1.
Are you increasingly irritable, more short-tempered, more disappointed in the people around you?
1.
I probably should have used me, because I think I would have been a little 2 or 3 on that. Are you seeing close friends and family members less frequently?
Less frequently.
Have you seen a big change where you're not visiting family and friends as often as you was? How you gonna tell me to hurry up? Or did you freeze? Did I lose you? All right. It seemed that we lost her. What we're gonna do is we're gonna continue until she come back in. All right. So you, the listener, I want you to continuously answer the questions and rate yourself from 1 to 5. Number 9, are you too busy to do even routine things like make phone calls or read reports or send out birthday cards? All right. Rate yourself 1 to 5. Are you suffering from physical complaints like aches, pains, headaches, or lingering colds? Do you see a big difference from, within the last couple of months? Are you suffering with more? You notice that you're getting more aches, pains, and different things of that nature. Rate yourself 1 to 5. If you're seeing a big difference, put a 5. Not so big of a difference, 3 or 4. If there's really no difference, and you're not really even having that, then write a 1 or 0. I mean, 1 or 2. Do you feel disoriented when the activity of the day comes to a halt? Rate yourself 1 to 5. All right. Is joy elusive? Is it hard to obtain? Do you just seem like you can't have joy for some reason? If it's hard to come by for you, rate yourself 1 to 5. Are you unable to laugh at a joke about yourself? Rate yourself 1 to 5. Does sex seem like more trouble than it's worth? Rate yourself 1 to 5. 1 being you haven't seen much of a big change, but if you're noticing now that sex is just more of a hassle than it's worth, it's not going to give you that much gratification at the end, then rate yourself at a 5. All right. Do you have very little to say to people? Rate yourself. If you notice now you don't feel like talking to people, really don't have nothing to communicate with them, if it's a big difference in the last couple of months, rate yourself a 5. Now, what I want you to do is we're about to take a quick break real quick, and we're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to tell you how we want you to add up all those numbers. And when we come back, we're going to put you in a bracket to show you what it means if you're burning out or if you're on the road to burning out. So go ahead and add that up and we'll be right back.
Transformative. That's what Sonia Jackson is. Creative. That's what Sonia Jackson is. Compassionate. That's what Sonia Jackson is. Leadership. That's what Sonia Jackson demonstrates. Dedicated. That's what Sonia Jackson is. Chatham County, there's never been a tax commissioner like Sonia Jackson. She has made the office more accessible, more consistent, more convenient, and more service-friendly. Let's keep Sonia Jackson while she takes the tax commissioner's office to new heights. On May 21st, cast your vote for a great public servant. Vote Sonia Jackson for tax commissioner.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
Now, let me share this with you, and thank you for coming back. Hopefully, you done added up all your numbers. Now, don't let a high total alarm you, okay? Pay attention to it, though. You know, burnout is reversible, all right? And no matter how far along it is, it can be reversed. The higher number signifies that the sooner you start being kinder to yourself, the better. You have to start, taking account of yourself and be kinder to yourself, even in what you eat, what you drink, how you think about yourself, and all that. And you'll start noticing that you'll get better, and your burnout will reverse, and you won't burn yourself out. So let's get to the answers. All right, your answer to are you burning out? If you added up your numbers added up between 0 and 25, if your number is between 0 and 25, you're doing fine. No danger of burning out. Now, if you can, share your number on the screen. Say, hey, my number was 5, my number was 10, my number was 25, or whatever your number was. If it was between 26 and 35, there are things you should be watching. Burnout has begun. All right. If you're 36 to 50 in your number, if your number is between 36 to 50, you're a candidate for burnout. If it's 51 to 65, you are burning out. If it's over 65, you are in a dangerous place, threatening your physical and mental well-being. So, like we said, don't be alarmed at a high at a high rate, at a high number. Let's just work on getting this down and getting it reversed, because it is reversible. All right. Burnout is just another name for innervation. And if you notice, when me and Michaela was talking earlier, innervation is the first stage of disease. You remember I told you every cell in the body goes down 7 stages. 1 being innervation, 2 being toxemia, poison blood. That's the accumulation of poisons. When the body becomes fatigued or innervated, low functioning power, fatigued, burned out, then it no longer can do work of eliminating, removing, repairing, and stuff like that. Or it can't digest like it's supposed to. It does no work like it does normally with high energy. So toxins and waste and harmful substance tend to accumulate in the body. That accumulation is what we call toxemia. When poisons are held or suspended in the blood and in the tissues, you got toxemia and autointoxication. Then it goes on to the third stage of disease, which is irritation. Those toxins that are suspended and accumulated in the cells and tissues start irritating the cells to damage. and causes an inflammation. You start getting inflammation from the constant irritation of those toxins. That inflammation causes the body to go into a state of ulceration where it wants to free itself of the waste products. Now, sometimes the induration or hardening happens first, and then sometimes the ulceration happens first, like in the case of a tumor. Before the tumor ulcerates, it hardens, and the doctor tells you got a hard mass inside of you. And then that mass tends to burst or ulcerate, and all the waste ulcerates out, and you end up with this thing called cachexia, where poisons is spreading out, or they call it metastasis, where it's sliding from one area of the body to another area. But it's just wasting, and it's wasting out through the body, damaging the body. So all disease starts from innervation, and burnout brings on a lot of the diseases that you're suffering from. And that's why I told you, when, unless you can get emotional poise in your life, a lot of the sicknesses that you're suffering from may very well not get well while you're still innervated, while you're still fatigued. You're still working constantly. You oversexing, you overindulging in work, play, overindulging in fun, and whatever, you overindulging in, that's wearing out your energy, that's depleting your energy. Anything that depletes your energy will bring on innervation. Innervation first cause of disease. All right. And so now where your disease manifests itself is going to be peculiar to your DNA, your genetic makeup, your abuse that you've done to your body. If I always sit here and beat my hand, and toxins build up in my body, well, this is the weakest link. So when the body gets so fatigued and drowned in waste and poison, well, my hand is going to be the first one to give way, because it's the weakest one. And so my hand is going to be the first one letting me know that I am innervated. All right. Now, the lungs, I didn't abuse my lungs. I didn't abuse my brain. I didn't abuse my eyes. I didn't abuse my stomach. I didn't abuse these other organs. So they're not going to be affected by the drop in energy as fast as the hand will. Now, if I overuse my stomach and overeating and stuff like that, then my stomach is going to be the first one to cry out in pain. If I drunk a bunch of alcohol and my sickness reach my energy levels become depleted, well, the liver is going to be the first one to give out, or the kidneys is going to be the first one to give out. Whichever one has been abused the most and overused, that doesn't have energy from the get-go, because it was wasting getting rid of alcohol. It was wasting neutralizing toxic substance that came into the human body. So the area in your body, or the seat of your disease, is peculiar to you because of your habits and your genetic makeup. All right. So you have a tendency, or you have this predisposition to have a sickness in your lungs, or in your heart, or in your kidneys, or whatever, provided you allow your body to become weak enough to manifest those symptoms, or that expression of that, how that body's supposed to act under those conditions. So your body will not ever manifest the sickness, even though it's your genetic makeup, or it's your weakness, because you're using an area of your body, provided you maintain high levels of energy. So it's all about keeping high levels of energy, where you never have to worry about toxemia, or where you never have to worry about irritation, where you never have to worry about inflammation, where you never have to worry about ulceration, induration, and then mutation or fungation. I know I'm doing a bunch of rhyming here, but all those are different stages of disease. First one being low functioning power, the second one being a buildup of toxins, the third one being irritation from those toxins, the fourth one being inflammation from the irritation, and hardening or ulceration from the inflammation, and then eventually your cells degenerate or they mutate to something else that it don't supposed to be. That's the cancer. All right, but at any of those stages, you can reverse it by removing the cause of it. If you want to get rid of the mutation, you got to stop the degeneration. If you want to stop the degeneration, you got to stop the induration, the hardening, or the ulceration. If you want to stop the hardening and the ulceration, you got to stop the inflammation. If you want the inflammation to stop, you got to stop the irritation. If you want to stop the irritation, you got to stop the toxemia. Well, if you don't want toxemia in your body, you got to raise your energy levels up to here. All right. So I'm getting off that right now because I'm doing the very thing that I say Michaela do when I go to teaching about holistic health and healing all day long. You know what I mean? I love talking about it. So I love for when people can understand the concepts and principles of energy and how it works in the body, and how when the body doesn't have that energy, well, then the body starts shutting down. And stress is one of the main things that weaken the body and causes the body to start manifesting these diseases. So your disease can be corrected provided you get more energy. How do you get energy? You go to bed. Some of my clients, I put them to bed. I've had clients that I made go straight to bed when they leave my office. I had an office right there off of Hodgson Memorial, and they used to come up them stairs, and I could tell how much energy it is by how fast they get up the stairs. And if they took forever to get up them stairs, I send them right back down their home and tell them to go to bed and see me in 2 weeks. Don't get out of bed. I done had people get off their job for a month. I can understand people say, well, I got to make a living. Well, you're going to be dead and not living if you don't get the energy that you need, or your sickness is going to take you out. No job, no nothing is more important than you actually taking a hiatus for just a couple of weeks or so where you can go the long run. I've always talked about, and Dr. Shelton used to talk about this in one of his teachings, where he said, if you had a mule going up a hill, going up a mountain, and that mule can only make it halfway, unless you took him more than halfway nonstop, it'll kill him. He can't make the whole trip straight without stopping. You got to stop him halfway and give him rest, and then he'll go the rest of the way, and you'll have a mule when you get up there. But if you try to take that mule all the way up there without no rest, that mule going to die, and you're going to end up with a dead mule when you get to the top. You might have to tow them on the rest of the way, though. So that's the same thing here. Sometimes it takes for us to pull into the pit stop. We can't think that we can do the race all on one tank of gas and all on one set of tires. We got to pull into the cockpit and change the tires, get some oil in there, put some fuel in there, and then we get back on the racetrack, run around some more, come off and get back some more gas, change the tires. So we got to constantly, recuperate ourselves by being inactive, getting rest. Rest is the ultimate restorer of energy and health. When you're being inactive, your body can conserve energy and build up that energy and put it into a savings account and redirect some of that energy towards healing your body, rebuilding bones, rebuilding tissue, removing waste out of the body. So with the conservation of your energy, the body is able to heal itself. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another break, and I have to get off of teaching this holistic health and get back into teaching life coaching. All right. Because that's what's going to be, but it's all ties together. It all ties together. You can't correct issues in the body without having high energy levels. All right. But stress is one of those things that take the energy levels out of your life. But when we come back, we're going to give you some antidotes to getting rid of the stresses in your life and to get that energy back up. All right. So when we come back, make sure you have a paper and pen. We got about 20 more minutes left in the show, and we're going to give you these antidotes and talk about the perils of procrastination. All right. See you in just a minute. Stay tuned. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in to this show and all the shows that we've, aired on this platform. And we want to thank the platform for allowing us to put this out there. And thank y'all for tuning in to this platform. We want to make sure that you come here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock and learn more about holistic health from us, Naturalist Elf. Like I said, we don't deal with herbs or remedies. If you notice around us, we deal with nothing but fruits and vegetables. All right, so make sure that you can get your supplements from the food you eat. You can get all the vitamins and minerals you need from the food. When you're eating the right food, you got to eat foods that are high in vitamins and minerals. But here again, we're not talking holistic nutrition. We're going to talk holistic health today. All right, so the psychology of low self-esteem. Do you have a pen with you? If not, you can hold my pen. And you need to get a piece of paper. All right. Now, the psychology of low self-esteem. We're going to go through some antidotes. I want you to write down this one right here. It's called self-worth and efficacy. Self-worth and efficacy. All right. Now, Nathaniel Branden's contribution to the psychology of low self-esteem, he points out that nothing is more important to man in his psychological stance and in the success he finds in life than the judgment he passes on himself. Most people, however, are only vaguely aware of this stance. One's estimation of himself is ordinarily experienced not in the form of a conscious, verbalized thought, but as an omnipresent, foggy feeling that underlines his very action. So a lot of times, what I'm hearing Nathaniel say is, see the desire for strong self-esteem as a basic human need, as an energy enhancer. You have to see yourself healthy. You got to see yourself as positive. You got to see yourself with value, that you mean something. If you don't think that you mean anything, that you're a low scum, you're not important as others, that can bring sickness to yourself. If you don't think you're like other people are greater than you. If you have no self-esteem and don't think that you have value, that will weaken your energy. According to Branden, these two qualities, worth and efficacy, run high in a person with strong self-esteem. Worthiness is the belief that you have value in and of yourself, not due to your accomplishments or behavior or promises or what you own. The person with a sense of self-worth feels he has value. All right? Personal efficacy is the belief in your own thought processes, dependency on yourself to make right decisions and correct wrong ones. All right? So those are two things that Nathaniel Branden believes will help with raising your energy level when you have self-esteem, high self-esteem, know that you have value, and self-efficacy, knowing that you can make the right decision. You can correct those things that are wrong in your life. You have the knowledge and power within you. Know that you have the God in you as well. All right. So let's go to the next one. The next antidote I want you to write down is love and worthiness. All right. We're getting this from William Glasser's contribution. All right. William Glasser's contribution. Let's say he who is hostile lives in a hostile world. He who is loving lives in a loving world. Let's repeat that. Say it with me this time. He who is hostile lives in a hostile world. He who is loving lives in a loving world. All right? So William Glasser, Dr. William Glasser, presents a similar paradigm with which to appreciate the insidiousness of low self-esteem. His approach is somewhat simpler, though, less poetical and more practical. Like Branden, Glasser identifies the sources of strong self-esteem. love. That is, through loving and being loved, and worth. That is, by seeing oneself as having value. Dr. Glasser maintains that the cause of virtually all mental and emotional illnesses and most bodily diseases has the seedbed of loveless, worthless feelings harbored by the sufferer. So the person, mostly all mental and emotional and bodily diseases and health issues is rooted in the sufferer who doesn't believe that he is loved or don't love himself or think he has no worth. Most people will die away. You see elderly people do this, all right? Elderly people, when they tend to feel that, they're not worth in the world anymore, they take their license away from them. They can't get no work. They're too old, different stuff. When they have no meaning, they tend to die off. So that's why we have to make sure that we keep worth, and make worthy goals in our life, if we wish to not build disease. Soon as somebody get laid off or somebody retire and they don't, nobody depend on them. Even I know ladies, once their kids go to college and stuff, and they end up with the empty nest syndrome, and they end up suffering with sicknesses and diseases, and sometimes die because they're not there to have anybody to care for anymore. So, and then the kids don't call them like they would wish them to call them or something like that. They don't feel love. They have no worth anymore. And they start suffering sickness and death. But if we can continue, I tell a lot of my clients back in the days when I used to do a lot of counseling with clients who were suffering with these diseases, I would have them supplant themselves in, some good groups. Go and place yourself around other people where you can build some worth. Go to some, put yourself in a group, even if it's a church group. Go join yourself into a church. Go join some organization. Go do something. To supplant yourself into to build some worth. Go get you a part-time job or something. You take a man who's been at a job, running a job for so long, and you take that away from him, he starts suffering disease and dying. But if you give him something to do, he starts coming back to life. It's all about love and worth. All right. Here, one, they act out. They choose tantrum, delinquency, crime, sociopathic, and psychopathic behavior. These are persons who are actually emotionally tormented. When they are emotionally tormented, they become obsessed with their own emotions. They choose combinations from the smorgasbord of negativity, depression, fear, phobia, anxiety, sadness, dejection, anger, hysteria, self-pity, social withdrawal, pride, arrogance. These are people who suffering with lovelessness and unworthiness. They don't believe that they're worthy to be loved. And this can interfere with a lot of relationships. I've done a lot of relationship coaching, and I've seen individuals who don't feel that they are worthy to be loved. And so by them don't believing that they're worthy to be loved, then they can't receive love. And then if they can't receive love, they feel unloved and they suffer sickness. And the sickness, I don't care how well they eat. I don't care how much sun they get. I don't care how much clean water they drink. As long as they have that emotional disease going on in their body, unworthiness, unlovingness in their hearts and mind, in their subconscious, they still suffer their issue. Most times in a lot of my early years of practicing holistic health and healing, and when I was dealing more with clients one-on-one, we always had to work with the mind of the client first and helping them, get rid of their issues, especially when we were doing, relationship coaching. All right. They become crazy. They more or less subconsciously choose psychosis, paranoia, delusional, or hallucinatory non-reality. They become psychosomatically ill. They choose sickness on the subconscious, mental level, and the sickness then manifests in time. Now, I want to share this situation to give an example of what that part said, and we're going to have to flow through this thing. I'm going to give a quick example. A young girl, she was really attached to her mother, and she knew that her mother, when she went off to college for just a little while, her mother got sick. And as soon as she came home, her mother got well while she was out on break. While she was on break the whole time, her mother was well. When she went back to college, the mother got sick again. When she came back on break, she got well. The daughter ended up getting sick and stayed home. The mother stayed well. So the daughter never got well again because she stayed sick where she can keep her mother well. You see how the mind can create sickness and disease as well? We know of a young lady who got pregnant all because in her mind she thought she was pregnant, but she didn't have a baby and she wasn't really even pregnant. But she showed all the signs of pregnancy. Her stomach protruded. She started lactating through the breath. She was having morning sickness and all type of stuff. But the pregnancy test still showed that she was not pregnant. So our mind, our emotions and thoughts and subconscious can create sickness in us. And only until we correct that will the individual release themselves from their disease. All right. So let's go to the next antidote, because we got about 9 minutes left in the show, a little less than 9 minutes. Antidote to addiction, the forgiveness antidote. Fear includes all the emotions of darkness, love, and the emotions of light. One of these light life emotions is forgiveness. To forgive would not be an easy thing for many of us to do. Indeed, some of us can name people we take pride and pleasure in rejecting. We need to appreciate, however, that it is the unwholesome luxury of indulging in negative thoughts and feelings that bring on the compulsivity. Even the slightest taste of anger, I want you to listen to this. Even the slightest taste of anger, resentment, jealousy, hurt, left as a residue in the body becomes the seedbed of addiction. The only diet that would do is the steady diet of forgiveness. I've noticed that in a situation I had a while back, stress that brought on through a relationship that I was going through way back in the days I can relate to. My body broke down rapidly when I was going through a stressful situation with anger, jealousy in a relationship. Only when I let go and broke myself from any attachment, became non-attached to the feelings or the perceptions of how I felt I was being attacked and unloved and unworthy in that relationship, then my health started regenerating. But I was going through conditions that I could not get corrected. The doctor couldn't understand what was going on with my body or anything. Only until I changed my perception about my emotions and forgave those people. I was mad about what was going on or anything. I just let it go. It is what it is. So forgiveness is the key. Dr. Herbert Shelton, you hear me talk about him a lot. Dr. Herbert M. Shelton, his favorite diet was forgive everybody everything. The best diet you can do is forgive everybody everything. All right, the love antidote. Gerald Jablonski, in his book, Teach Only Love, states the only reality in life is love. He defines love as the total absence of fear and the basis for all attitudinal healing. Jablonski urges the reader to grasp that our attitudes determine whether we experience peace or fear, whether we are well or sick, free or in prison. Now, let me read that again. Our attitudes determine whether we experience peace or fear, whether we are well or sick, free or in prison. If we continue with the old self program, thoughtlessness, automatically playing, we are doomed to the progressive mental, emotional, and physical diseases by compulsivity. That is all there is to it. The old self knows only self-esteem and addiction. We must be courageous enough to believe in the only knowing total acceptance, total giving, and total boundless of love. We must recognize that the only purpose for being here on this earth is to be a channel for love and to help others recognize the love within themselves. That's a powerful statement. A lot of people think, I'm just here for me. I'm just here to do what I want to do. I'm just here to get me a big house, big car. I always want to be happy. Well, happiness should be coming from loving yourself. That's what true happiness is. Because cars, you get cars, they'll grow old. Houses, they'll tear down. But love for self and showing others how to love. Like I get happiness when I heal myself. Oh, and I get happiness when I show others how to heal themselves. Now that'd be something, beat any car or anything. So the love antidote, and then the faith antidote. Dr. Herbert Benson, in Beyond the Relaxation Response, presents a compelling remedy for combining one's chosen faith with meditation to bring about better health and well-being. He calls the technique the faith factor. Dr. Benson is thoroughly familiar with the dangers of the chronically activated hypermetabolic physiology of fear and recommends regular practice of faith and quieting the body through meditation to achieve a restful, healing, hypometabolic state. All right? So he's using faith. Like a lot of people have gone to churches and gotten healed all because they believed in the faith that God was going to heal them. If they put all their trust, forgive and forget and do all this stuff, and they get healed. And they do. So the faith antidote is a good antidote in healing yourself. Have faith that, once you put down all your bad stuff and that, your body is going to be healed. Your subconscious is going to build whatever you believe is going to build, or believe whatever you want it to build. You just got to believe that it's possible. All right. Seek gratitude. This is Seeley's antidote. In Stress Without Stress, Dr. Hans Seeley offers his cure for compulsive behavior. Earn thy neighbor's love. Seeley makes clear that he is presenting a code of behavior found on sound biological laws. If we operate from the negative emotion, we biochemically harm ourselves and contribute stress to society. If we operate from peace, goodwill, and gratitude, we enhance the quality of our own lives and that of others. So living, we achieve, in Seeley's words, a state of functioning that is totally conducive to ideal health, a state he calls altruistic egoism. So he's saying that we need to earn our neighbor's love. If we live and operate from a negative emotion, we're causing harm to ourselves and the whole world at large. But when we operate from a higher level of being, we not only help ourselves, we help the whole world at large. So operate from a higher self. All right, we're not going to get through all these antidotes today, but we're going to talk about before we start the next topic next week, we're going to talk about the visualization antidote, seeing. We're going to talk about the biblical antidote, love thy neighbor as thyself. And we're going to talk about the affirmation antidote, speaking it. And we're going to talk about the exercise antidote. Go work out. It gives you a good state of mind, all right? So those are what we're going to talk about. And we're going to go into the perils of procrastination, all right? The perils of procrastination, and beware of the 7 stages of denial. So we're going to do one more week. I can't cram all this stuff in at one time. But just work with me, and we're going to work our way through it, and we're going to become healthy, loving, peaceful beings all together. One meal at a time, like the producer put up there. We're getting healthy one meal at a time. And that meal could be you ingesting the true knowledge and awareness of how to heal yourself through words of healing. Best of health and happiness from Savannah Natural Health. This has been your health coach, Dr. Ferrante Frazier, and we'll see you next week, same time, Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Best of health and happiness.
I like that.